guys, welcome to Tips and Tricks episode 8, and I've got good news and I got bad news. We're going to go over the update, and we're also going to go over a few tricks. We're going to try to keep this one shorter as far as the actual gameplay is concerned. The bad news is I think this is going to be my last Tips and Tricks video. Now, don't freak out, I'm not actually stopping, which is the good news. I'm just changing the format in which I'm delivering it to y'all. My idea here is to improve on my video quality by being able to streamline the information to you guys. And the way that I plan on doing that is by simultaneously having an homage to, if any of y'all are old enough to remember this, Battlecast Primetime, CNC TV from EA back in the 2009 through I think 2011 or 13, something like that. They used to do a video where they show some of the best matches, and they'd talk about it. They'd have people commentating on the matches, and that's not exactly what I'm going to do. But they had the main event and the top 10. I'm going to do something similar, and again, as an homage to them. I'm going to do like a top... Sorry, I got some horrible cough. I saw a doctor, they're testing some stuff. We'll see what it is, but anyway. I'm going to do a top 5, is what I'm going to do. And what I'm going to do is anytime I have a match where there was really good strategy, and I don't mean stuff that you've seen before, but stuff that maybe isn't always shown, or just a really good match. It could just be one moment in the match even. But if there's something I feel you guys that it is very worthy to show to you guys, be it someone using it against me or me using it against someone, win or lose, I'm going to record it to a new list that we have, my favorites section. And every time I get 5 videos, I'm going to come back, make a video, and it's going to be the top 5. So that's my thing. It's going to be hopefully like the top 5 for the week or 2 weeks or whatever. I will be making less videos as far as my tips and tricks, essentially. But I'll be able to jump straight into it, show you guys the battles, tell you the tips, the cool strategies. I'll be able to talk about new changes to the game and stuff like that. Also, I'm going to do a separate video, completely separate of that, the top 5. And it's going to be an interaction video with you all. I want you to post in the comments your questions. A lot of you have the Discord for Command & Conquer Rivals. Get on there, message me directly. I want to know what you guys want to know. If there is a replay, join Borg. That's B-O-R-G with period between each letters, all capitalized. It's my clan on here. I only have one other guy. It's just me and one other person right now. We'll trade cards back and forth, get you free credits. I'll give you tips. But share your replays with me. I will share good replays of other people as well on my future videos. But the important thing is I'll just do 5 replays, maybe 1 live one, and we'll jump straight into the action. We'll jump straight into showing you guys the tips and tricks. And then I will have separate videos whenever you guys, after I get like so many questions or videos and things to show and talk about where people are wanting help. They want tips. Like maybe you're having problems saving up gems. Maybe you're having problems not getting cards. Maybe you're having problems with credits. Maybe there's a specific combo or you can't beat, or a map you're having problems with. You want help on that map. Those are the questions I want you guys to post in the comments. And I will respond to some of them. Others I'm going to put in a video where I could show actual clips or talk about it to everybody. If it is a, question worthy of that. And I'll help you all out that way. So we'll have the Q&A videos, and we'll have the top 5 every time I get them. Now, the top 5, I might do it 2 or 3 times a week. It might be once every 2 weeks. It depends on how often I run into those good matches where I could show you guys, how to beat people of higher levels or somebody of a lower level beating me. Oh, wait, that was a really good tactic or glitch or something, As soon as I get 5 of those that I think is worthy of a video, I put them in my favorites. We come up, show them to you guys, clear them out. That is the plan anyway. And then I'm still doing a third type of video, which will also come to an end, like these tips and tricks that I'm currently doing to streamline stuff. But I say come to an end, but it won't really. The third type of video is I've been going over the units individually in my shorts. Some of them have not been so short. Definitely check any one of them out that has a plus by it. Like I've got a Flame Trooper Plus video almost nobody saw. That's not just covering Flame Troopers. It's covering Riflemen, I already covered Riflemen, Rockets. It's covering Flame Troopers, Scarabs, Snipers. If it's got a plus, it's doing more. Usually it's a lot of the basics, though. Like I got one with Tanks Plus, I believe, and that's got, buggies, attack bikes, and basic tanks. I will be covering, hopefully today, the new units, the Shock Troopers and the Tic Tac tanks, in a video. And I will eventually cover all the current units, but as new units come out, I will continue to make those shorts. And I will talk about tips, tricks, weaknesses, advantages in those as well. But like I said, if you want map specific, those will be like, a QA with me. Or I might even go over them in those special videos when I'm showing you those guys. But that's enough talk. Let's get to some action. Let's see here. Let's just go over my last one. Got the volume down enough? Yeah. Alright, and again, as you're in different categories, you're going to see different maps. A lot of you guys, I've never seen that map before. You're probably too low or too high of a category. And we'll go over the updates. Obviously, me at Hipstar with Baker's a Harvester. I got a Rifleman. Updates. Infantry right now have gotten some severe defensive buffs. A few units have gotten attack buffs against infantry. But let me move this over here out of the way. But defensively, most infantry have gotten huge buffs. Flamethrowers are way different now. They're more tanky. They're still as good against infantry, but they're not, which makes them better against infantry, but they're not quite as good against buildings as before. Also, Seth's power now costs 80 instead of 60. I question that. I don't think it's bad because they're so tanky now. I don't know. I probably just would have started with 70, but 80 sounds pretty reasonable. 60 after making them tanky would have been too cheap, though. You can see here, just basic stuff. Even though my Pitbull wasn't good against Riflemen, I wanted to block him off so he couldn't get in, do some Harvester harassment. He's got tanks. So I'm running away with my Pitbull, trying to get it out of there. I think he does catch it, though. Yep, he caught it right there. So then I bring in artillery. I was hoping he would stay on the point and try to fight my APC, which he does for a little bit, but my artillery didn't get time to wipe out both tanks. It only took out one, but it distracted the other one long enough for my 2 sets of rocket squads to trash it. Sorry about the messages. Go over them in a little bit. Oh my god. Anyway, building APCs to try to fight his infantry, and then when they die, I get the rocket squads for the tanks. A lot of times with my unit caps near full, especially when I got those 2 harvesters, I need to be able to pump out 2 units at a time, and that's a good way for me to sort of do that. He had his Rifleman charge my guys. That was very smart of him. Now, he's going to turn this match around right here because he's killing my harvesters. I'm getting money saved up. So I pulled my harvester out. I'm not too worried about the money at this point. I'm more worried about my unit count. I really should have only stuck with 1 harvester. But especially on this map, my harvesters are in the middle of the battle right now. That's not good. And he'll kill my harvester, I think, right here, and that's giving him a huge money advantage, which puts me at a disadvantage. I just can't get enough units out to take these points because I need so much variety. So I'm pumping out a bunch of infantry. And again, infantry right now are a little, I don't want to say too powerful, but they're pretty buff. I'm just trying to get, Riflemen to fight his rocket squads, rockets to deal with his vehicles, and some vehicles of my own to deal with the APCs or rocket squads dealing with them. But there are my Riflemen killing his rocket squads down there. My rocket squads coming out to deal with the vehicles. Get an APC out to help deal with his infantry once the APCs drop. There's some artillery. And it's an even match right now. I've got him down at half. He's got me at half. But I think I do manage to steal this last missile just barely. He's tearing up my artillery. My artillery were some bad purchases in this. I did not save them and block them off quite properly. I mean, I was hoping I could keep him back, but each time he charged and he got something right in his face, took it out right away. Did very good. But here you can see I managed to block him off from getting to the top, and I've got the middle, so I got it when it mattered. But it was definitely, and you notice I wasn't really pumping out my harvester again once he killed it, because I didn't need the money. And I definitely didn't want another harvester in combat, taking up a unit space, giving him more money. That's more units, more powerful units and powers for me to deal with. Anyway. And I could go over a different one. That's practically the same map. Let's go ahead and actually, I'll go over my first favorite that I've got here, and then I can get rid of this one. I already saved one. This is me versus Nuff Said. In this one, I was using a different army, and that's another big tip for you guys. I've set a lot of suggestions. All of these are suggestions, and everything is subject to change with updates. The update has changed the game a lot on certain maps, certain units, the addition of the new units, And again, depending also on your level, you will find that maybe you had a really good army before that all of a sudden is not working because of the new units, because of the changes to the units. You may find that your favorite strategy isn't quite as good. Doesn't mean it's not usable, but maybe it's not overpowered. Before, I would say that rocket squads would barely lose to buggies. Right now, I have seen rocket squads actually taking on buggies, like completely. Not just, eventually going to win with money or numbers. And I'm fighting stuff of higher levels, which I'm not winning still because of the levels, but that's the only reason then. Look here, the thing I was trying to get at, I got off topic. Nothing I say is an absolute. Like, everything is subject to change. I'll say things like, on my army right here, I've got 2 tech lab units. I said in the previous video, you don't want like 3 or 4 tech lab units. For some of you that might have fought me, I actually have been running with 3 tech lab units on some of my decks, my builds. I still agree 3 is not a good idea. I absolutely agree still that 3 is not a good idea. But sometimes you have to break the rules. And you might find something very interesting. In building 3, I find myself needing to focus either really on early game and then skipping the medium game. So I'm strong, I've got a weakness, and then I'm strong again. Or I find myself really having a problem with the early game. So I still don't think it is an overall good tactic, but surprising your opponent. Not having that medium game but jumping straight to the late game, that can work at times. Also, a variety is nice to have. Infantry and tanks, infantry and air, tanks and air, infantry, tanks, and air. I tried building a air-only build. I tried building a tank-only build, and I tried building an infantry-only build. And they actually worked quite well. Sometimes surprising your opponent, just completely overwhelming him, even if it creates a weakness for you. If he doesn't have that, what your weakness is, you can find yourself doing really good. So surprise is definitely a big thing. A lot of times I said the double harvester build, like starting off with 2 of them right away, is a horrible, horrible build. Because if he scouts you, sees it, and just counters it, you've given him money, you're screwed. But if he doesn't, if he has a build that can't do that, or that's not going to do that, it could work, So bad ideas sometimes are good ideas. You could beat a good player. I'm not going to say by being stupid. That's where I was going to go with it. But I have seen expert players lose to bad players because they expect them to play like other good players, and they surprise them. They catch them off guard. It's like, that would lose any other time. Nobody does that. And so I wasn't prepared for it, and it beat me. It happens. Anyway, sorry about all my messages on my phone. I don't know if you guys are seeing all that. I hope not. apparently unpopular. I will have to get back to that after that. Let's go ahead and watch this, though. This one I've got two. I've got basic infantry for the start, riflemen and rocket squads, which are actually having major problems right now because a lot of people are trying out the new shock troopers, and I've gotten into that league where I can fight level 10 units again, but also where people have sniper teams. So infantry are just, they're both good right now, but they're also getting torn up. Basic infantry are not doing as good as they were. So I had to run a Rhino. I mean, I don't like, before I was running just the this build, the Pit Bull, and then a tank, because I didn't need any anti-infantry early game except for the rifleman, unless I ran to a flamethrower, which was pretty rare at the start. But now it's a lot more common. People are doing it like half the matches at the moment at my league. So knowing what you could run across. And this guy's got 9-9. He's got all 9s and then 1-6 with his, Tech Lab unit. So he's got me beat odd levels across the board. Let's watch this. Hopefully, because this is a very interesting match. I say this one, the beginning, Nuff said is a good player. I've played him many times. He's like right where I'm at as he's playing. So we keep running into each other. Similar opening. And, he's beat me, honestly, as many times as I've beat him, I think. He does have me on levels. So he should win. And I'm not saying I'm a better player than him. I'm just... He's a good player. Just the way it goes sometimes. Sometimes you do a strategy that happens to beat somebody. I think I have molded his strategies a little bit because I've noticed his change in play style to more match mine instead of... Because before he used to do a lot of rushes or start with the rifleman, and then he was losing that. And here he did a second harvester build pretty early on. He started very similar to I did. He got those flame troopers. I got those rhinos, which I told you I need those because of the flame trooper starts. I'm harassing his harvester, trying to get him to come down. I got my pit bull to go harass this other harvester, so I'm doing the harvester harassment. He's making more money than me right now. He's able to beat me money-wise. He's able to beat me level-wise, but I'm countering his troops, and I'm harassing his harvesters. Nobody's even got a missile yet because we're also keeping the timer paused. Both of us were doing that quite well. I mean, he does counter my rifleman there, and he is countering my pit bull finally. At this point, he's still getting more money than me. He's got the advantage, but I'm continuing the harvester harassment. I'm hoping I can kill one and use that money to catch up to him money-wise. Also, proper counters. The rocket squads for the air. While he's fighting the rockets, the pit bulls doing its damage, both top and bottom. I'm not just hitting one point at a time. I'm hitting multiple. I'm weakening his numbers with my rocket squads against those air, because even though they fight back, they're not good at it. I killed both harvesters. Now I've got a huge buff in money. So at this point, I'm good on money. And I can pump out more units than him because I've got one harvester where he's got two. He's rebuilt them. And I'm trying to get my pit bulls in there because he's got nothing that's really good against tanks except for that high-end tech unit. And I was trying to take it out, but it didn't match short because he's got, well, I take that back. His bomber's good against tanks too. And he keeps summoning the flame troopers. He's doing really good about trying to counter my infantry with that. I brought out a high-tech anti-infantry vehicle just to counter the flame troopers and all the stuff he was pumping. And he got this first rocket off. He is winning at this point. I got a second harvester, though, because now I'm into my late game, and I'm pumping out the zone troopers. And he doesn't really have anything to counter those zone troopers. I'm countering him with them at this point big time. You just saw me trash several of his 2 and now 3 of his units, and I just lost 1. And yeah, so I lost 2. I lost my tech unit. But those air units he's building are only good against vehicles. He should only be using it against vehicles or keeping it back and attacking from a distance with a blocker in front of it. Those other air units, his bombers, also good against vehicles. So he's trying to distract me with some of that, I know, while he hits me with the flame troopers at the bottom. I've got an APC. But since they are more tanky, let me move down here so you can actually keep an eye on my base's health. They're not as good against buildings as they were before. but they are harder to kill. Before, he would have done a lot, probably near double that damage, but I would have killed him also in a lot less time. So, but anyway, he tried some infantry, didn't work. I got my first missile off. Now I've got him. I'm killing his harvesters, getting more of a money buff. I've got proper counters. The problem is he's not building anything to kill my zone troopers, and my zone troopers are keeping it at bay. And he's building anti-vehicles again to fight infantry. And zone troopers also heal. A lot of people don't realize they make for a great tanking unit because if they don't kill a trooper, if they leave it at one trooper, it will heal back up to half. If they leave both troopers, it'll heal back up to full. And here he just decides, I'm just going to go for the base. And that was a mistake. He should have, stalled the timer and should have built stuff for those zone troopers and slowly damaged the base. Instead, he just let me have it. And bombers don't do as much against the base as they used to. Flame troopers don't do as much against the base as they used to. Had his flame troopers been pre-update, I think my base would have taken, honestly, about the same amount of damage from the first flame trooper, but I would have killed it quicker. And that second flame trooper would have definitely done a lot more damage as I was distracted by the bomber. But anyway. And the stopping with the rifleman at the beginning, again, very important. A lot of people aren't paying attention to that kind of stuff. I think I've got, down here somewhere, I've got a bunch of defeats, because here it is. This one, I don't care if it's one of these. I think a guy just got disconnected on one of these two. But another one was, I think it was this one. Not the disconnect. Here's where I decided to build practically a full air army. I was testing it out. I built it. I fought a lot more with this, but those battles are no longer in my replays. But this is very interesting because there's this new air unit I want to talk about. It is a great, great air unit for fighting infantry and weak vehicles. Yeah, I was trying to chase his riflemen, avoid his rocket squads. Didn't do so well at the beginning, but I distracted him long enough for me to get enough money to get out. Eventually. That thing. There we go. Boom. Killed his rocket squad, got away from the other. It moves very fast while reloading, but it's slower when it's ready to fire. However, it does, really good damage to anything on the ground, and it leaves fire. And that's another reason why this is an air-only army, so I don't kill my own troops, because it also shoots 2 out. And it does have a decent amount of health, but I mean, the fire alone is going to just tear things up. The fact that you can kill 2 units at once. I mean, look here. I killed one rocket squad, another rocket squad ran through one fire and into the other, and then died. I didn't even shoot at that second rocket squad. Boom. Killed a freaking pit bull before he even got close to me. Another one taking damage from the fire. Boom. Reloaded. Killed another pit bull before he could get to me. He can't even get to that thing with his little anti. You need a heavy anti-air unit. You can't run with just little stuff for late game. And I kind of jumped to the late game with this while I was distracting him. I didn't have to build a tech lab for that thing either. That thing comes out of the airfield. Yes, the airfield is expensive, which is why I say it's still more of a late game thing, but you get pretty early. If I had stopped that second bomber right there, if I had gotten in position before his infantry, he had 4 units that were all crossing each other's paths. It could have potentially taken out 4 units in one hit. That would have been amazing. I really wish I had done that and had that recorded. That would have put this into favorites if I could take out 40. But, I mean, he wasn't building any counters for them. I don't even know if he could. And that's, like, my army. If I was to run to that thing, the APC... Oh, excuse me, hiccup. The APC is highly defensive. That is my big counter for that thing. Also, if you do have to fight it with little units like pit bulls or rocket squads, obviously you want to come from a different angle, so you can avoid the fire, but do it after it's fired, while it's reloading. And it can just run away while it's reloading, so that can be really difficult to do, but at least you can push them off a point. But like if I was to go to that same army, where was I? I think this was the guy I fought maybe on the bottom. He's got his big tech unit, the 80 cost guy. If he had built one of those, it would have survived, and it would have torn apart my bomber or made my bomber run away. 180 instead of building 40, 40, 40, 40, 40, 40, 40. You know, I don't even know how many. Go back and watch how many pit bulls did that guy build. It was ridiculous, and none of them didn't do anything. I think in the beginning he had rocket squads actually doing better than those pit bulls, or they might have helped out a little for that first one. And again, early game they're fine, especially if the thing's reloading. Yeah, they're fine. But I mean, I've got an anti-air unit for stuff like that with this army. Different armies, I've got usually at least an early game and a late game stuff for anti-air. The zone troopers actually can survive that thing. So my zone troopers are my late game for that on that army there. Oh, hey, look, there's me playing Enough Said again. Maybe that was that same match. I don't know. But anyway, oh, we have a crate. Let's go ahead and open that. Get some money and more cards. Yay! Order a crate. Something other than green. It's a blue. I'll take it. Better than nothing. And I love the new fuel system too. I do really want to talk with you guys about map strategies. A lot of maps you have very different strategies. I wish I could see the map before I select my army. Because there's certain maps where it's like, I want this army or I want that army. And there are other maps where I don't want to use. Like, if all of the Tiberium's in the middle, and I know there's a constant fight for the harvesters, I don't want to run a 2-harvester build. I do not want to run something that requires me to have a lot of Tiberium just to be able to pump out my units. Because I need my units to get the Tiberium. It's a catch-22, you know? So you're generally screwed with those kinds of builds on those maps. Anyway, different builds work differently. If there's several maps that I'm playing with right now where the Tiberium, I could show you the map outline without actually getting into it. Let's see. Not that one. Here it is, this one. I lost this one. But if you look at the map right here, you can see there's only a little spot in the upper middle where there's not rocks or Tiberium in the way. So infantry on this map are very difficult to use. And if you look at my army that I lost with, half of my army is infantry. Literally half. The only thing that's not infantry is my tech anti-infantry tank, which isn't going to be as good on a infantry canceling map, and then my actual tank and my APC. So generally, yes, I can still use those guys, but I have to meander them right to and away from the middle. If he has something good anti-infantry covering the middle, I've got to go through Tiberium and take damage, which naturally is going to make my guys weaker. So this army that I'm running right here is a very bad one to do on this map. And if I had known the map beforehand, I would have not ran with that army. I would have run something with more vehicles and air. But yeah, I love also artillery is great on that map. Especially that Nod artillery that the guy was trying to use against me a game or two ago. I said it's not good against zone troopers. I don't know why he's building it to try to fight zone troopers. That artillery would be amazing on this map because he can place it behind the rocks, shoot over the rocks, or he can go over the rocks, shoot something, and then retreat back. So whoever comes after him has to go all the way around to get to him. And then if he just flies back over, they got to go around again. So he practically needs 2 units to kill the guy or his own air unit. So I really like maps that have walls and choke points. I like a map like this where it screws over infantry if I'm not running infantry that are getting screwed. I want to be able to build something specifically to cater to certain maps. So yeah, I do wish that you could pick the map before your army. That would be, or at least know the map and then pick your army, something like that. Who knows? Maybe a future update. Maybe it's something we just got to live with. But certain tactics and things like that about certain maps, if you're having problems with, I can help you guys with. I give you tips like use this here, choke points here. There's one map where the whole top of the map is cut off. You got to go through the bottom to get to a base. Use an air artillery unit like that one guy had. on those maps just to take out the base. Be one of those heroes that can buff the unit by like 60% for 10 seconds or 75% for 10 seconds. Yeah, get the first missile real fast and just build that unit, fly it up along the top, and boom. You know, maybe distract him with a little bit of harvester stuff. There's so much you can do. Update stuff, though. What else can we talk about? Besides infantry, the sandstorms have had a major nerf. They are no longer as overpowered as they were. Gonna say thank God there, because they definitely needed a little nerf. I don't know if the one they got was fair. They got a slight defense buff, which makes up for their attack debuff, but they lost a full third of their attack. So, yeah, that's massive, especially considering that their attack goes down further when they're attacking multiple units. So, essentially, if you send in 2 units to fight a sandstorm simultaneously, it is doing half of the damage that it used to do to both of those units. That is huge. So before, where it could maybe just kill a tank in one hit by itself, but then you bring in 2 units, and it'll take 2 hits to kill those tanks. Now it's going to take like 4 hits to kill those tanks. And yeah, it's not going to die in just 3 shots anymore, because it's got a little extra health. It'll probably take 4 as well, but you get the point. Now, a pair of tanks could easily actually take on a sandstorm instead of vice versa. Anyway, I'm going to do a separate video for the new Shock Troopers and Tic Tac tanks, and I will see you guys. Hope you enjoyed the tips and tricks videos. Like I said, tips and tricks will continue separately as new updates come out. We go over new units, and we're showing off the actual tips and tricks instead of just talking about them through the top 5. The top 5 videos will probably... I don't know if I want to call it Battlecast Top 5 or something. That might be stealing a little bit of their logo. And like I said, it's supposed to be an homage, but I don't want to step on any toes and make people upset. So, I'm just going to call it the top 5. Anyway, hopefully the new streamlined videos will keep them shorter for you guys, straight to the point, and you will get a lot more information without me spending 30, 40 minutes going over a little bit of stuff, you know, fighting over whether you can hear me or not. And I'm going to keep improving the quality of these videos, and I'm going to keep them coming to you guys. They are not over. I'm just reformatting for your convenience. And if any of you do your own YouTube videos, have any advice for me, I am also hoping to do some streaming on Fallout 76 on the Xbox. I would like to bring that to YouTube as well. That will be a separate saved page and channel. But hopefully these will be the 2 games that I will be going over on my channel. Will be Fallout 76 and Command & Conquer Rivals. Also, I would like any advice, if you all can give it, on how to make, using my Android phone, a intro and pasting it on here, getting some nice music, something that's not copyrighted. And if anyone from EA is listening to this, if I need anything from you guys for permission to use stuff from the old Battlecast Primetime movies, TV series, the episodes, let me know how I can get a hold of you guys or get that information and what I can use without copyright infringement, because I loved it and I want to do as much. I would work with you guys to remake it for Command & Conquer Rivals, with hopefully other people, and again, improve the quality definitely over what I have here, because I'm a novice with YouTube. I made like 2 or 3 videos for a game a year or 2 ago, and I just Googled, you know, how to get onto Google Play to make these videos. So I'm as novice as you can get with it, but I am a fan, hardcore, and strategy, love it. I want to share. I want to teach more people to become better players. I want them to enjoy these videos. I want them to have fun with it. Any advice from anybody will be appreciated. I'm just starting off. You can help too. And don't forget, join the Clan Borg. If you want to show your own videos on my channel, let me know. I will do that. I am not opposed. If it's something good and, new, if it will help people out, teach them, strategies, tips, and tricks. We love them. And glitches. We'll show off glitches. I don't want to show off anything that will break the game or that the develop. Oh, speaking of glitches, new update glitches. Okay, well, they already fixed the chest one, so I'm not even going to go over that. But unit glitch. So I talked with the developers for you guys to find out the information. And like I said, another thing they already fixed. But this one, the Tic Tac tank, it says it's reducing damage taken by 50%. That is wrong. It is a typo. The developers have confirmed with me that it is actually 75%, not 50%, which is huge. Because instead of taking half the damage, you're taking 1/4 the damage. That means it's actually twice as good as it looks like it is. So the Tic Tac tank, if it was 50%, absolute garbage. I wouldn't say it's worth it. But at 75%, which it is at currently, as far as the update where it just came out, that means it goes from being half the health of a Scorpion tank to double the health of a Scorpion tank instead of just at the health of a Scorpion. Because right now I've got 2,157 at fully upgraded level 6 with 385 DPS. If I go to my Scorpion, mind you, is level 8, so it's supposed to be higher. But it's got 4,190. So really, it doesn't have half. It's got more than half of a level 8 at level 6. So it has a touch more than half. I'd be guessing if I to tell you the exact amount. But I was right under 4,000, I believe, at level 7. So about 200 to 300 points. So about 10%. That's a good way to put it. It has 10% more health than half of a Scorpion's health, give or take. But the Scorpion's DPS at this level is 436. What was this? 385. That's very comparable. And it's 360. It's going to 385. I think that's what when I get the cards to upgrade it to 7. So 20 points if it goes another couple points with the upgrades, and then another 20 for the level up. The damage, I think, is about the same. So DPS is the same. Health, it has about 10% more than half of the tank's health. But it becomes 4 times that, which at 2 times becomes the tank, again, plus 10%. 4 times, it's going to be double the tank, plus 10%. So this thing essentially will have the health of 2 Scorpion tanks for only 30 more. That's not bad when it's burrowed. When it's not burrowed, it's still very vulnerable. And the fact that it's burrowed means it can't move. You bring in rockets, air, it still is very weak. Weak's not right. It's easily counterable. But it will buy time. And that time could mean the difference between a missile, which means that could be the difference between winning and losing. So before I was saying this looks like garbage. And I'm still going to say 2/3 of the time it is garbage. But 1/3 of the time, and if used properly, if you push them off a point, then you can bring the Tic Tac tank safely, burrow it, or put it at a key location and burrow it before you can get there. It's going to really hold that point for a long time as a vehicle, as a tank that can't move. So it still has a lot of major weaknesses, but I've seen silos and a lot of other high-end players using them at the high-end games to win a lot of their matches. So it is not complete garbage like I was saying. On paper, it looks like garbage. It sounds like it's going to be garbage. It's still difficult to use. I'm actually not even running it in my armies right now because I don't know if it's worth it to me. But it definitely is not garbage. It can be used in the proper scenarios to hold off very well and win you the game. And high-end people are doing it that way. So enjoy the tic-tac-toe. Don't avoid it just because I said it was garbage. It is not garbage. It's just difficult to use. And if you can use something difficult well, it's going to work for you. It's going to work very well. Twice the health of a tank for only a third more the cost. But like the stealth tank is difficult to use. You know, it's a hit and run, lightly armored vehicle. But if you know how to use it well, it's going to be very good. A lot of units are that way. I'm not going over units. I'm done. This is the end of the strategy video. Too long anyway. I'm going to do top 5s for you guys where I will continue strategies, tips, and tricks as I could show them to you. Maybe some stuff I could hear. And I'm going to have the videos where you guys can question me, ask me things, have me post things on here for you, show your replays, and talk about my suggestions of where you did great or you could have done better. Anyway, I'll see you guys, and enjoy Command & Conquer Rivals. Hopefully this game will be coming out soon for all of our friends. Peace.